Hello and welcome. In this video, we will be reviewing a general introduction to the Salesforce platform. Please note that for the build for St. Louis Crisis Nursery, Salesforce will only be acting as the backend system. It will also be acting as a reporting module, which we will be covering later in the process. I will still go through and show the general navigation and features of Salesforce just to familiarize yourself with the system. There are two ways to log in. You will either be logging in at a URL that is customized to your name, which is crisisnurserykids.my.salesforce.com. This prefix is only for the testing environment, or you can also log in at login.salesforce.com. All of the information will be translated to you prior to go live for production, and it will also be given to you prior to testing in your testing packet. You will be using a different login than I will be, and you will have a slightly different feature set than the system administrator in performing your testing. To log in, simply type in your username and password and click Login. Please note that when you have your official accounts created for you that are connected to your email address, you will be asked to verify your identity for every new computer that you use to log into Salesforce. This identity verification process will send an email to your email tied to your account with a verification code. You will then have to copy and paste this verification code into Salesforce to confirm your identity. After you have done this, you will have a checkbox at the bottom of the page asking if you would like to disable this verification from happening again. This way, anytime you use the same computer and browser to log in, you will not have to verify your identity. But if you switch to a different computer or use a different browser on the same computer, you will have to verify your identity a second time. Please note that there are also password policy controls for the system. Currently, passwords are set to expire every 90 days, and you will have to use a new password 3 times in a row before you can reuse a password. These can be changed at a global or local level, meaning you can change it by person or change it for the entire organization. When you log in, you will land on the Salesforce homepage. An important thing to know about Salesforce is there are 2 views of Salesforce. One is called Salesforce Lightning, and the other Salesforce Classic. Salesforce Lightning is the updated view of their system, which is a newer, cleaner user interface. This is what you see now. In the top left corner of the screen, you will see a 3x3 grid of dots. This 3x3 grid of dots is known as an app launcher. Clicking on this will bring up a modal dialog that allows you to choose your apps. The apps that you have access to are defined by your user profile, or what you have been granted access to. At this time, in this initial phases of the go-live, there is not very many apps that are configured, and we will be doing most of our work in the client management app, which is the default. I'll now close the app launcher. The next thing you will see on your screen is the app name that you're currently on. You will then see tabs across the top of the screen. These tabs represent links to the data tables that make up your database. Please note that contacts is referenced to clients or staff member records. Accounts are referenced to households or organization records. Reports are all the reports that you have access to, and same as dashboards. These will continue to grow as we go along with our build. In the top of the main header navigation menu, you will see a search bar. You can limit your search to different things, such as accounts, contacts, etc., or you can just type in generic terms for searching. If you hit the Enter button when searching, you will search the entire system for the keyword. If you don't type anything in, a list of recent items is displayed so that you can see and quickly navigate back to what you were working on the last time that you logged in. On the right corner of the main header navigation is a favorites list that you can customize to your own personal account. A setup gear, which is available only to system administrators. A notification bell, which displays all active notifications. And a user menu, which allows you to customize your user settings or log out. On the Home tab will be pinned dashboards or widgets that are customized to your needs. Please note that these dashboards have not been set up just yet, but are there in place to show you how the home page will work. At the bottom of the home page, you will see the list of today's events, the ability to view the calendar, a list of today's tasks, or a list of all tasks, and then again another section to see all of the recent things that you've been looking at since the last time you've logged in. The first tab in the system, as it stands right now, is Contacts. Clicking on this tab will navigate you to the default page of Contacts, or the drop-down menu will again show you a list of recent records in the recent list views. You also have a hot link here to create a new contact right off the bat. I will click on the Contacts tab, and this will load a default list view. A list view is a list of the data according to specific filter parameters. The default list view for every tab will be recently viewed. Please note that if you have not logged into the system, you will not see any information when you first click on the tab because of the default list view being recently viewed. To change this, select the drop-down arrow and choose from the list of list views. I clicked on All Guardian Contacts, which will load up all of the guardians in the system. In this case, the filter for this list view means that the type of contact must be a guardian. You can see that in this column here. If I want to change the list view, I can change it to All Child Contacts, which again means that the filter criteria is only contacts with the type of child. You can always sort the columns by clicking the Sort Order. The drop-down menu allows you to wrap or clip the text. Anything in the system that is in blue underline is a link which you can follow to view the detail record. You can create new records using the New button located in the top of the list view. And some roles will be able to configure the list view using the other controls in the top right corner. You can even do things like show charts on the list view. This will all be configured during system administrator training just before going live. If I click on a particular record, after navigating to the Guardian Contacts list, this will load up what is known as the Record Details screen. These are all of the details regarding this particular client. In the top right corner, you will see a list of buttons that you have available to you. Edit means you can edit the whole record. Delete removes the record from the system. Clone makes a direct copy of it. And change owner will be covered in future sprints. On each contact record, in most records in the system, on the detail screen, you will see what we call a highlights panel, or quick information to see at a glance at the top of the record, and then two tabs, one being details, and the other being related. Salesforce is a relational database, meaning that tables are related to one another. Think of this as children being related to parents or guardians, or think of this as parents, guardians, and children all being related to a parent household. The household is the database table, and all of the different individuals in that household are related to the household. Another way to edit records on the detail screen is to simply click the pencil icon that is located to the right of the information, or double-click on the information that you would like to edit. Double-clicking on the information or bringing up the edit screen brings up two buttons to save or cancel your changes. Each detail record is broken out into sections, which can be collapsed or hidden using the arrows next to the section name. The System Information section just contains high-level detail that is not frequently edited. It is a good practice to have this minimized by default so you don't accidentally change something that you don't mean to. On the Related tab, you will see all of the different objects that are related to this particular client. This means that in each of the people that are listed in the dependents, they have a lookup to this particular client saying that this is their guardian. In essence, this is a parent-child relationship to where this client is the parent and these records are the children. The related information to contacts or clients as we stand right now are dependents, relationships, address history, services, and notes and attachments. Please note that Notes and Attachments is also a separate tab to the right of the screen where files can be drag and dropped into the Upload Files widget. Again, clicking on any link here that is underlined in blue will take you to a different detailed record. Once I have clicked, I'm still on a contact, but this is the child contact. The Highlights panel has changed slightly to where the primary guardian is in the Highlights panel, but the overall layout of the information is the same. If I click on the household, you will once again notice that the information has changed, but the layout is largely the same, with a Details tab and a Related tab. Clicking on the Reports link or tab will bring up a list of reports that you have access to. This will look different depending on which user you are logged in and using. Reports are always listed with recent reports first, and you can then filter out those that are created by you, those that are created by you and are listed as private, those that are created by you and listed as public, all reports that you have access to, or reports within certain custom folders. At this time, we have a few custom reports that we have created, and we have just listed them in the public folder for now, until we get more reporting requirements knocked out. There is not currently anything in the dashboards menu at this time. Now to cover a few quick Salesforce terms and quick features. To start with, I'll navigate back to a record that I was recently on. You will hear the term related list used a lot throughout the build. A related list is just the list of all of the records that are on the Related tab within the related object. This is the related object, in this case dependents, and this is the related list of all of the dependents that are a child of this parent record. On related lists, you will see new buttons which allow you to create new records with the relationship automatically populated. What this means is if I click the new button on the Address History Related List, a modal window will pop up allowing me to add a new address, and the Parent, in this case, the guardian record, is automatically defaulted in because I clicked the New button from the related list. I can now simply add my street, city, state, zip, county, and locate information and click Save. Whenever creating a new record, you are always presented with three options: Save, Save and New, and Cancel. Save and New will save this record that is currently on the screen and refresh the screen to allow you to create multiple records at one time. This is a good idea for batch entering records in a more efficient manner. Cancel will not save the record and will return you to your previous screen. An additional term that you may hear is changing your user settings. The user settings are controlled by clicking the View Profile and the Settings link. This is where you will go to do things like change your password, your name, your time zone settings, or any delegate access that you might need. You can also control email frequency. Changing password is what's used most frequently, which is located here. Another thing that may be useful to you is accessing Salesforce help. Salesforce is well known with nonprofits through their foundation, and you get easy access to a lot of their help documentation. Simply click the question mark icon and you can start searching. You can use Trailhead, which is their training modules. These are very good and allow you to pick what you want to learn about and go through an entire learning trail through that particular topic. You can get support, which is submitting a support ticket to Salesforce if you think something is broken or bugged in the system. You can give feedback, or you can do things like view keyboard shortcuts that will help you navigate the system more efficiently. We highly recommend that any time you see an issue in the system, first checking Salesforce help to see if there's something that may solve your problem. That has been a brief introduction to Salesforce, navigating Salesforce, and some terms that we will be using throughout this implementation. Please don't hesitate to ask us any questions or use the help to search on your own. Thank you, and have a good day.